One very effective solution is to focus on developing the internal training resource. And there are three ways that you can do this. A, you can take your existing instructors or supervisors, those responsible for teaching others at work, and you can upskill them through advanced training skills. B, you can look at your line managers and train them to be effective coaches, so that as well as during someone's appraisal, developing learning plans, these line managers can actually deliver the learning too. And the third thing you can consider doing is developing an internal structured mentoring scheme. Well, the most straightforward way is to source a really good advanced training skills program, which will give your instructors the additional skills that you want them to have. That might include designing training, for instance, or facilitation and discussion leading skills. That's probably the best way round it. The most important thing is to decide before you buy. Work out exactly what additional skills you want the instructors to have, so that when it comes to choosing the programme for upskilling them, you can pick the right one. Well, there are two things that are important. Firstly, we need to write that into the job description. Managers need to know that coaching individuals and teams is part of their job description, and that they will be appraised on that, just as they will be appraised in other key performance areas. The second thing is to remember that very few of us are born coaches. Just because somebody can do a job does not mean that they could teach or train or coach another individual to do it. Those are different skill sets. So the managers will need to be trained in coaching skills, and fortunately there are plenty of excellent programs out there. Well, there are two approaches you could try. Firstly, if you can find another organisation similar to your own who has already been down that route and is willing to share their experience, that can be useful to explore. Alternatively, and perhaps even better, it is well worthwhile investing in a learning and development consultant's time, and he or she will help you to set up and structure the scheme, to select your internal mentors and to give them the training that they need. Again, that need not be an expensive or laborious process, but it will pay dividends. There is something else they can do as well, and that is focus on the learners themselves and train learners in what we call the techniques of modelling. Modelling is the unconscious process we all have as children. It's the way that we learn to walk and the way that we learn to talk, by unconsciously copying the adults and perhaps older siblings around us. We now know that we can also learn modelling consciously, as a deliberate process to help us learn quickly, efficiently, and very cost-effectively. After all, if the learner knows how to model, he or she is no longer dependent on an excellent teacher. All we need is an expert in the task that we want to learn, and a set of structured questions and learning approaches, so that we can have some of whatever it is this expert has got. But the learners do need first to learn those skills of modelling. Although we may have the skills unconsciously at that childhood level, if we want to do it on purpose, as it were, as adults, it's a skill set we need to learn. But it only takes 2 or 3 days to do that, and subsequently, with practice, you can have any skill that you want. The world is your oyster.